Hey everyone, Bronze Age Nerd here. Happy New Year. I thought I'd start off the new year with a video. I haven't posted one in a little while because of the holidays and being busy as most of us are. So I thought I'd post a video with my recent pickups. And for me, recent pickups, I don't really have an actual LCS or local comic book store that I go to. So I order most of my comics online and I get most of my new stuff from Things from Another World. I do pre-orders, so I save money. I basically get everything for about 30% off as long as I order it ahead of time. I'm actually switching over all my pre-orders to Comics Elite. I get a better deal there. I like their shipping better. And frankly, they do a better job shipping. I've gotten a lot of damages from Things from Another World that I'm not happy about. Turns out they only will guarantee a very good condition on their pre-order comics, which is terrible. That's a joke. I have a feeling that the representative I talked to maybe understated their guarantee to get out of having to repay me anything. But all that aside, I'm tired of their business and I want to switch over to something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to go over comics that were in my last shipment from Things from Another World that I got. I do have another big shipment coming from them. But it's not just stuff from them. It's also stuff I've gotten recently from Comics Elite or other different purchases I've made. It's basically my giant pile of comics that I need to file. And I think most modern comic book collectors that pick up a lot of comics, unless you're really on top of it, you kind of end up with some of these. So let's just start going over what I have. Some of these are nothing too special. A lot of them are ones that I thought there was a key reason for it to be a big deal. It's Captain America 26. I believe something was supposed to happen in this issue. I'll be honest, I haven't even cracked it open yet. But I picked up the A cover, and then I picked up two of the Nullified cover, mostly because I think that cover is really cool. I like a lot of the Nullified covers. You're going to be seeing a lot of them in this batch. Next up, Captain Marvel. I think there was some speculation this would be a key. I'm probably just going to stop saying that because that's true for a lot of these. And I don't read a lot of these comics. I don't even crack them open. I know that sounds like sacrilege to a lot of comic book collectors, but I do most of my reading on a tablet. And so I usually wait for the better deals. I wait for a trade paperback or an omnibus or a collected edition on Comixology or whatever I decide to pick up. And so because of that, I don't read a lot of these, but I think something was supposed to happen in the issue. There was some wording in the preview that seemed like it might be a key. I also got the Nullified cover because why not? Ms. Marvel's a pretty popular character. May as well have kind of a cooler variant of hers. I think there was a first appearance in these Catwomans. Catwoman isn't a title I read, but the A cover and the Jenny Frison cover. The Jenny Frison cover, I think, is just an awesome cover. Like, the regular cover is whatever, but, I mean, just look at that. That's really sweet. A series I'm just picking up for now, as there's a lot of heat on it, is Crossover. I think this is the standard cover for Crossover, too, the A cover. So those were all Things from Another World, and a lot of these will be, like I said. This one is one I got from Bill over at Economics and Comics. This is the Ryan Brown cover for issue 4 of Dark Knight's Death Metal. I just think it's a cool cover. I had him throw it into something else I was picking up, and he gave me a good deal on it, so I picked that up. This was cover by T-Rex, man. This is my favorite dinosaur. This is an awesome Lucio Perillo cover. Total cover by. This one's a cover by too. Just a really sweet homage to the film poster. Yeah, absolutely sweet. Yeah, like I said, this is my file pile, guys. This isn't necessarily new comics I picked out. This is kind of a throwback, right? Deadpool Mark with a Mouth, #1. I pulled this out because I wanted to do a eventual 25 comic CG8 9.8 pre-screen. And so I was kind of going through some of my candidates that would be worth it if they were at 9.8, but not necessarily worth it if they were a lower grade. This one, I didn't end up thinking it was worthy. Can't remember what the exact reason was on this one. Spine looked pretty good. Might have had some, it's in Mylar, so it's pretty hard to tell because Mylar does a damn good job of disguising a lot of problems. But I believe this one had some warping or something like that I thought might be helped with the press. Deja Thoris number 9, the Linsner cover. Just a fantastic cover, very sultry artwork. I like Linsner's covers. This is a cover buy for me just because it's the Amazing Fantasy 15 homage. This is the Sidem cover. I met Sidem at Wizard World Comic Con in Portland, and I like Sidem's art. I know there's been some controversy with Sidem basically using images he wasn't supposed to for reference or whatever. Still, I think this is amazing artwork and kind of undeniable, really. So it may not be for everybody, but I still think it's amazing. This is a speculation purchase. New comic that had some heat, some buzz around it before it came out. Erratic number 1. A new superhero who basically has his abilities for a certain amount of time every day, I want to say. Like, he can use his powers like 15 minutes a day. I haven't read it yet, but I did pick it up. Got a couple of the Diodato covers, too. This is the Nullified Fantastic Four. Just a really cool take on the thing there. This is the Ebass is the artist's name. This is a Comics Elite exclusive. It's Pharaoh's Lounge, which is sort of a cosplay cover series. Essentially, it's just a variant that they are able to do, obviously a risque image on that obviously DC would never allow. So that was from Comics Elite. I picked these up from Comics Elite too. Nothing crazy, but it was a first appearance variant cover. I believe it was the first appearance of that character. This is obviously from the Swords storyline. I'm waiting to read the entire collected version of that, so I just heard this was a hot new first appearance. I shouldn't even say hot, but it's a new first appearance. If you can pick up first appearances of a modern comic for less than cover price like I did these, why not grab a few? If it hits, great. If it doesn't, somebody down the road is going to want to add this to their collection, and you could still probably sell it for at least cover price. And since I bought it for less than cover price, I'll end up making money on it. I'm a little ashamed to say I bought into some Comic Tom speculation. This was one that I think he just was excited about it for various reasons, and it probably got a little bit of attention due to that. But yeah, Homesick Pilots number 1. I did think it was a cool cover. Maybe it's a cool story, so we'll see. Again, something I'd probably wait for an entire trade to come out on before I picked it up. This was something that was in my is it a 9.8 candidate pile or not. So this is House of X number 2. This is the Storm variant, obviously. So the reason that I like these is because it's the revelation that Moira McTaggart has had multiple lifetimes, and that's her mutant ability. It's kind of her real origin story that we never knew about until Hickman decided to retcon it. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I actually think it was probably the sweetest part of the whole Powers of 10 House of X storyline was this revelation. So that's one that was a 9.8 candidate. I decided it wasn't quite a 9.8. Immortal Hulk 41 variant. This is just a series that I'm on. I'm just kind of collecting all the issues right now. There's just too much possibility that some of them become keys because a lot of stuff happens in that series. I screened this one as a timeless variant for Iron Man number 1. The Alex Ross covers are obviously amazing, but it wasn't quite. I think this is like a 9.6. Speaking of Iron Man, going back to my new comic book day ×4 haul, and I say ×4 because I wait basically a month to get my comics, so a lot of this stuff has been sitting there for a while. But I got 2 copies of this Iron Man variant because it was, catching some heat before it came out. I just decided to pick up everything in this series. I like Juggernaut. Eventually, I'll probably check it out. I have a lot of copies of number 1 because it was the first appearance of D-Cell. But I just decided to get everything in the 5-part miniseries. This was the first appearance, not even, a comic I'm on or collecting. But I think this was first cameo, first full, supposedly, of, I think his name is Frost Giant, I'm pretty sure. Or Frost King. Sorry if I got that wrong. A lot of you DC fans probably know better than I do. I like DC, but I'm not a big DC guy. This is probably the oldest comic in this batch that was from my actual pre-orders. King in Black number 1. This is the Hulk version. I do have the secret variant with Thing right there where the Hulk is inserted. I still don't know why that happened. I don't think anything happened to Thing in that comic. Because this is the secret variant, and I haven't read this, but I know what happens. And obviously, this is the spoiler variant. Sorry, I keep shaking the camera, guys. It's the setup I have until I get a better setup. But I got 2 copies of the secret variant. When I ordered those, I had no idea what was on the cover or what was coming. And like I said, I know what happens, but only the broad strokes. I haven't read the actual issue yet. I will. I'm very interested in all the Null King in Black stuff, but a lot of my purchasing these days with physical comics is based on speculation. I'd rather turn all these comics someday. I know not all of these are ever going to help me necessarily get there, but some of these will hopefully get me to a X-Men number 1 or just another X-Men key that I value a lot more than these comics. So these aren't really things that I care about too much. That's kind of if you've been following my channel, that's my whole point here, is to try to get comics that I do care about a ton, and then just read stuff that I like digitally. I don't mind that experience. I have a very good time doing it. Anyways, rambling aside, this is Peach Momoko, King in Black. This was the Stegman Darkness Reigns variant, I believe is what they called that. And then I got the Superlog variant. Next up, this is the King in Black Immortal Hulk. I've actually heard that story is not that cool, which sucks to hear because I haven't read it yet. A couple Lady Death comics I picked up. Blasphemy Anthem 1 of 2, the Azure edition. Which just fell a little bit. This was the Holiday edition, signed by Brian Pulido. Obviously a cool cover. Oh, this was neat. I'm a huge fan of both these franchises, Lock and Key and Sandman. This was I think it's called Zero. Yeah, it's a Zero issue. So we'll see what ends up becoming cool about this. I am interested in both those franchises, so that is kind of more of a personal pickup for me. Check these out. I've met Jamie Tyndall and have a few prints that I picked up at a convention that he was at. I like the magazine style variants he does. They're pretty cool. This is his new character and his new company that he's doing along with a few partners. You can check out the videos and the interviews on Economics and Comics. They've done a series of them, and these were a good price, and I just thought they were cool. So Miss Meow number 1, or preview edition. More Nullified goodness. Miles Morales, Spider-Man Nullified number 21. Another pre-screen item. I believe that's First Demon Bear. Oh, there was a little bit of junk on the cover, but that actually wasn't on the title. Strange Academy number 4, I want to say. And this is the David Nakayama variant, which I love that cover. I'm a big Magic fan. Red Sonja, The Price of Blood number 1. This is the Sidem cover. Second printing of this Savage Dragon election cover. I'll very much try to keep politics out of my channel. Let's just say I only bought this for speculation reasons, and I do have the first print as well. And I don't mean to say that I only bought it because I'm a supporter of somebody else. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to talk about politics, is all I'm saying, basically. Darth Vader, number 8. I can't remember if I picked this up because there's been that new character that they introduced. I want to say it's a bounty hunter. Guys, can you tell I don't have time to read any of these new comics? I've actually been reading a lot of older stuff recently. So, I mean, I'll catch up to all this stuff eventually. But like I said, it's a speculation game. And some of this is stuff I'll probably be interested in. There's the Strange Academy number 6. So that makes me think the Nakayama, I think, was number 4, I want to say. It's always tough with those virgins if you don't have it memorized. And that was the Arthur Adams character spotlight variant. Superman 28. Kind of a cool cover, to be honest. I'm not a huge Superman fan, but Superman and Lois, it's kind of a cool comic book romance, kind of up there with Spider-Man and Mary Jane, even though I'm more of a Spider-Man and Black Cat person, but they're a classic couple, right? 2 variants for Sword number 1. I picked that up because they're doing a new series, and there's some speculation that Sword's going to make an appearance in the MCU if they haven't already. Was it Endgame's post-credit sequence where Nick Fury says he has to get back to work and he appears to be on a space station? You could argue that's probably Sword or possibly Sword getting started. And Abigail Brand, there's a lot of rumors she'll be joining the MCU. Even though that's not her first appearance, obviously. And this is Symbiote Spider-Man number 2. It's just King in Black speculation. Okie doke. So this is the Tales from the Dark Multiverse Flashpoint number 1. These are all one-shots. I have most of these or a lot of these. I don't know if there ever be keys, but I think they're probably going to be kind of neat to read someday when I get some time. If they are a key, awesome. This is more of the Endless Winter. This is the Teen Titans special. I think that there was some speculation this could be a key. I just don't have time to write all this down and see, like, oh, there's some character that is appearing around this issue, and that's why they made this one on a hot list kind of stuff. I mean, I bought it for $2, so it's kind of just a gamble. Thor 10, part of the reason that I picked up a few of these, as you'll see here, is because it's the return of Donald Blake, which is a big deal. The preview said something about solving a mystery that's been unanswered for 20 plus years or something like that. So I thought, hey, something might happen. They also did a lot of variants of this comic, which usually means something happens. This has been out for a little bit and I haven't heard a ton about it. The Nullified variant was super awesome, so I picked up a couple of those. So most of the stuff, like I said several times now, probably repeating myself too much, is from Things from Another World. These are from not Unknown Comics, Comic Book Quest, and they threw these into a shipment I got as freebies, which is pretty cool, actually. So that's pretty sweet. I mean, who could argue with free, right? Venom 31. This is a title I'm just on. I think, a lot of people are at this point. Cat's out of the bag that Donny Cates writes some pretty cool stuff that tends to catch on fire as far as comic book speculation goes. So I got the variant there. I think that's the King in Black A cover. Yeah, this is the Nullified. And then got this one from Comics Elite. That's the Kyle Hotz variant, which is super cool. Really like that a lot. This is I think it's the Unknown Comics variant, but I got it from Comic Book Quest. This is what they sent along the free comics with, or one of the ones. There's another one in here you'll see. But this is Wolverine 6, which is the first appearance of a new character who has a name that I haven't committed to memory because I haven't read the issue yet. And sorry about knocking the camera there. Luckily, no comics were harmed in the making of this video yet. This is Wolverine Black, White, and Blood #2, which is a series I'll probably just be picking up because I love the covers, for one thing. Black, White, and Red are always cool. They did those Harley Quinn Black, White, and Red comics that have cool covers too. I think those are only digital though. I could be wrong. And then obviously like Batman Black and White, so it's not exactly a new concept, but I do like that the stories in this are kind of bloodier, more violent Wolverine stories. Let's face it, that's kind of the character he is. So that's pretty sweet. And I heard #3 is going to be the first fight between him and Cosmic Ghost Rider, so I'm looking forward to that. That's X of Swords creation #1, the Kyle Hotz Virgin variant. I'd hoped for a 9.8, but if you can see that, that's probably a 9.6, maybe a 9.4. So that's not happening. Still a very awesome comic, though. X of Swords creation was the last one. This one's X of Swords Destruction, which was the finale, I want to say. Part 22 of 22. So, again, I haven't read any of the X of Swords stuff. I think this is X Force 13. Also a first appearance. Also an issue I haven't read yet. And then this is X-Men 16. That's from Comic Book Quest. And I think it's an Unknown Comics variant originally, though. I could be mistaken about that. And then this was, I think, a first cover appearance by one of these characters. I'm really far behind. Sorry, guys. Really informative, I know, but you guys probably know better than I do what each of these are already at this point, or a lot of you do anyway. And like I said, it's going to be a while before I get caught up on some of the newer stuff anyway. But that's just a sweet cover. Also, the last comic book in this haul. So a big haul, but again, this is probably realistically 6 weeks worth of comics, 5 weeks maybe. Plus there's some stuff in here that was just, you saw it. It was just older stuff that I was doing pre-screen stuff on. And so what happens is, I pull it out of my collection and I'm looking at it and I have to, dig it out of the Mylar and get it under light and see if there's any spine ticks or scratches or just whatever, right? Creases. And as I do that, well, I'm taking it out with a few others and then they have to get filed back away. And if you have a decent amount of physical comic books, you understand the frustration or the frustration. Well, for me, it's frustration. For a lot of people, it probably isn't. But just the hassle of you handle the comics, you have to put them back, and I keep all mine in alphabetical order. So there's just a lot of stuff to it. But that's why I end up with these, what's in my file pile kind of comics videos. And hopefully it's just a cool chance to check out some comics. People like checking out comics, right? I love checking out comics. Hopefully you love checking out comics. If you're still watching, you probably do. Okay, so that's another long rambly video from Bronze Age Nerd. Next up, you'll probably be seeing a submission to CGC that I'm putting together. Well, to be honest, at this point, it's already out the door, of some signing books, some of the private in-house signings they're doing. I did 2 submissions for that, and I'll go over those here pretty soon, and hopefully have those videos up pretty quickly for you guys all to enjoy. And remember, as always, hey, read comics every day. Have a great day, everybody.